Ever feel like there's a whole other you just waiting to break free? Well, get this. That's exactly what we're diving into today. Your potential.
Woo! I like that.
Yeah, right. We're cracking open this awesome book, Unlocking Your Potential, Mastering Your Mindset. And trust me, it's packed with strategies to totally reshape how you think about challenges, success, you name it.
It's funny because I was just thinking about this the other day.
Really?
Yeah, like we hear all the time about reaching your potential, but what does that even mean?
This book actually breaks it down, gives you actionable steps.
And that's what we're going to unpack today.
Totally. So, first up, this book really dives into reframing challenges. Like, instead of hitting a wall and saying, nope, can't do it, it's about flipping the script. What do you think is so powerful about that?
Well, it's like, when you're working out and it gets tough, but you push through. You're building muscle, right?
Yeah, totally.
It's kind of the same with your mind. Every time you face a challenge head on and you choose to see it as an opportunity, you're basically training your brain to be more flexible, more resourceful. It's all about resilience.
So it's like, instead of saying, I can't, it's like, how can I?
Exactly. That tiny shift in language, it's huge E. But I bet some people are thinking, yeah, right, easy for you to say. Is it really that simple to change your thinking?
Well, honestly, that's what I thought too at first.
Right. But here's the thing. There's tons of research on this thing called neuroplasticity, which is basically the brain's ability to rewire itself. It's crazy.
Whoa, wait, really? So, like, our brains can actually change?
Absolutely. By making a conscious effort to shift your perspective, you're actually strengthening the neural pathways linked to problem solving and resilience.
So we're not just, like, talking about positive vibes here. This is about literally changing how our brains work.
100%. And that actually leads us to one of the biggies in the book, the growth mindset.
Right. And this is a term I hear everywhere. But sometimes I'm like, okay, but what does it actually mean in practice?
I gotcha. Think about learning something totally new, like, I don't know, maybe you're trying to learn a new language or how to code.
Coding. Ugh, not for me. But I get your point.
At first, you're going to feel lost, maybe even a little dumb, right? That's natural. A growth mindset, though, it tells you that your current skill level is just a starting point. With effort and the right strategies, you can get better.
So it's not about pretending you're already perfect. It's about believing you can improve.
It's the potential that matters, that belief that you can learn and grow, even if it's hard. It's about the journey, not just the destination.
Love that.
Mhm.
Now, this book lays out a super clear 3-step framework for actually unlocking your potential. The first one is all about identifying limiting beliefs. Like, what are those sneaky thoughts we all have that hold us back?
Exactly. And awareness is like the key to the whole thing. Because until you actually identify those negative thoughts that are tripping you up, you can't challenge them.
It's like, you can't fight an enemy you can't see.
Exactly.
Okay, so you've spotted those limiting beliefs. What's next?
This is where it gets really interesting because step 2 is all about harnessing the power of your thoughts.
Right, and this is where the book gets into some serious science, showing how our thoughts actually impact our actions. What parts of that section really stood out to you?
I thought it was so cool how the book actually talked about the biology involved. It's not just some vague feel-good stuff. It connects your mindset to things like your stress hormones, even changes in your gene expression.
So, like, our thoughts are actually changing our bodies.
Seriously, and that's empowering, isn't it? It means we have more control than we think.
Totally.
Mm.
Which brings us to step 3. Practical strategies for actually making those changes happen.
Right. This is where the book really shines. It's packed with actionable advice and techniques. You've got visualization, affirmations, even strategies for dealing with those negative emotions that top up.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But you know what I find really interesting? This book doesn't stop at just mindset. It also dives into resilience and building solid daily habits.
Right. It's like mindset's the foundation, but you got to build on that. You can have the greatest mindset in the world, but if you fall apart at the first sign of trouble.
You're not going to get very far.
Exactly. Resilience is about bouncing back from those tough times, learning from your mistakes, and keeping that momentum going.
And speaking of momentum, what about those daily habits?
Habits are the small, consistent actions that add up to huge changes over time. It's like putting your success on autopilot, in a way.
So it's like you're building a system that supports your growth even when you're not actively thinking about it.
Exactly. And that's what this book does so well. It connects the dots between mindset, resilience, and those daily actions. They all work together.
It's like a recipe for lasting personal growth.
Totally.
Well, we've just scratched the surface of unlocking your potential. And honestly, the real magic happens when you actually put this stuff into practice in your own life.
Couldn't agree more.
So here's a challenge for you listening right now. Think about one limiting belief that you'd like to tackle, maybe even write it down. That's your first step to unlocking your potential.
And who knows what you might achieve.
Exactly. Until next time, keep diving deep.